Hi, welcome back. In this video lecture, we will deploy our ClearPass in VMware Workstation. To begin our deployment, let's talk about the resource requirements. The first thing which we require is the VMware Workstation should be installed on our system. And we also require ClearPass OVF image file. I will show you how we can download this OVF image file. For lab purpose, we use CLabV virtual appliance, which is basically a ClearPass Lab virtual appliance. Now let's talk about the system requirement. In our system or in our computer, we need at least 2 reserved virtual CPUs. We require at least 6 GB of RAM and we require 160 GB of disk space. And this is the least requirement, and if we have more than this, that would be better. Now to begin our deployment, let's download our OVF image file. We can download it from asp.arubanetworks.com. This ASP here stands for Aruba Support Portal. So now let's open Chrome and log in into this site. Okay, let's hit enter. So here we are logging into asp.arubanetworks.com. So to download our ClearPass image, we can go here on Software and Documents. Here we can select ClearPass Policy Manager. And once we are here, we have all these images present here on this page. So now let's filter the image which we want to download. So here we can filter it with software because we want to download the software, and then we can filter the major release, which release we want. So I want 6.10, so I'll filter this one. And now we have these minor release here. So which minor release I want? I want 6.10.0, so I'll select this. Okay, and here we have very less images present now. Okay, and we have to choose one of these image. So which image we will use? We will use this ESXi image. This is the image which we use in our VMware Workstation. And we can see here this release note is orange in color. So we can click on that and this release note will open, while this image download icon is grayed out. And in order to download the image, we should be logged in first. So let's quickly log in. In order to log in and download the image, either you should be a customer or a non-reseller partner or a reseller partner, or you could be an HP employee. Okay, so here we are now logged in, and now let's quickly download this image. So I will click on download and my download will start. Okay, so my download has started, but what I will do, I will cancel this download here because I already have this image present in my computer. Okay, so this is how this downloaded file will look like. This downloaded file will actually be a zip file which we can extract, and once we will extract this file, we will get this folder, and these are all the materials we have in this folder. Okay, and this is our OVF image. So let's quickly use that and deploy our ClearPass. Okay, so now let me open my VMware Workstation. Okay, so this is my VMware Workstation. And what I will do here, I will go on file and I will open a new file. Okay, and you can see here, this is my OVF image of ClearPass, and this is the version 6.10.0.180076. Okay, so I will select that and open it. Okay, I will accept the terms and condition and click on next. And here it is, I will give the name to my ClearPass. And what name I'm gonna give here? The name would be CPPM, that is ClearPass Policy Manager _lab _pub. So why we are using this suffix as pub? This pub actually stands for publisher, and this publisher is a term which is used in ClearPass cluster. So let's quickly talk about this publisher and subscriber, because when we are using the name as pub, that is publisher, we should have at least some understanding about the publisher. And of course, in future, when we will deploy our cluster, we will talk more about this publisher and subscriber. All right, so here it is. This is the small introduction about publisher and subscriber. A publisher node is the one that functions as the master controller in the cluster. A publisher is the central point of configuration. If this whole is the cluster, then this is the publisher and all these are the subscriber. Okay, a publisher is the one where we actually do the configuration and all the relevant configurations are copied to the relevant subscribers. All configuration changes must be made on the publisher. Publisher node sends the changes to each subscriber. This is what we discussed here. while the subscriber maintains the local copy of the configuration database. Subscribers has only read-only access to the local copy of the configuration database, which means that subscribers will have their own configuration, but they will have only read-only access of their configuration. All the configuration changes will be done by the publisher. In a cluster, there could be one publisher and n number of subscribers. We can compare this publisher and subscriber model with hub and spoke model, where the hub acts as the publisher and the spokes acts as the subscriber. I hope now you will have a basic understanding of what a publisher is and what a subscriber is. And of course, as I said earlier, we will discuss more about publisher and subscriber when we will deploy our ClearPass cluster. So now let's go back and deploy our ClearPass. Okay, so we use this name and this is the storage path of our virtual machine. We can change it if you want to. Now let's click on import. This import will take some time, so I will fast forward that part. So our ClearPass image has been imported and these are the device resources. So let's go here and click on memory and let's say this is 6 GB. Okay, I do not want to give it 8 GB. And let's say the virtual CPU processor are 4. Okay, I will make this disk space as 80 GB here. So I will click on expand and I will make it 8 and click on expand. This expansion will take some time. I will fast forward that part. Now I will click on OK. We can see here disk space has been increased to 80 GB. And now we will add one more disk space of 80 GB. So total it will become 160 GB. So I will click on add and I will select hard disk and click on next. And I will use SCSI, click on next. And I will keep this create a virtual disk selected and I will click on next. And here I will increase the size to 80 GB so that it will become 80 plus 80 160. And here I will select store virtual disk as a single file and click on next. And now I will click on finish. And we can see here we have new hard disk of 80 GB. So total it becomes 80 plus 80 160. And here in network adapter, I will change the network adapter setting as well. And I will go here in custom and select this VMNAT1. And why we are changing network adapter setting? Because I want my ClearPass to access internet as well. And then I will click on OK. Now when all these settings are changed, I will click on power on this virtual machine. And here we have the option of selecting VM appliance type. So we will use CLAB-V, which we discussed here. So I will write 1 and hit enter. So now it is showing us the comparison of current system configuration. So required is 2 CPU, 6 GB RAM and 160 GB of hard disk. And what we have set currently, 4 CPU or 4 virtual CPUs, 6 GB of RAM and 80 GB of hard disk. It is showing 80 GB here because it is showing only one disk, while we saw that we configured 160 GB hard disk for this ClearPass appliance. And why we are comparing this? Because here the release notes which we downloaded, if we click here on ClearPass Policy Manager 6.x, we will check on related documents. We can open this ClearPass Policy Manager 6.10 installation guide. And here system requirement for ClearPass 6.10. And we click here on virtual appliance requirement. And then if we go here on VMware vSphere hypervisor ESXi requirement, and here it is. The version which we are using CLAB-V evaluation OVF, we require at least 2 virtual CPUs, 6 GB RAM and 160 GB of hard disk space. This appliance is only for lab purpose, while the other virtual appliance like C1000V requires at least 8 GB of RAM and C2000V requires 16 GB of RAM and C3000V requires 60 GB of RAM. Okay, these are the virtual appliance which we can use for production environment. This 1000V supports 1000 concurrent users. This C2000V supports 10,000 concurrent users. And this C3000V supports 50,000 concurrent users. Okay, now let's go back to our ClearPass deployment. Okay, so are we good with this setting? Do you want to continue? Press Y and hit enter. So now it is asking us, do you want to encrypt the data? no disk encryption is required in lab environment as it will put unnecessary load in CPU of our computer. In production, it is highly recommended to press Y here to encrypt the data in the disk. So I will say no and hit enter. And now this initialization will take some time, so I will fast forward that part. Okay, so here it is. We got the prompt of our first login here. One important thing to note here is when we will first time log in into our ClearPass, this is the default username, which is app admin, and this is the default password, which is etips123, where tips TIPS is in caps. And once we will log in our ClearPass with these credentials, we will go through an initial setup, and during that initial setup, we can change our password. Once we will change our password, the username for CLI will remain the same, that is app admin, and the password would be our new password. While for GUI, the username is admin and the password would be whatever the password we will set in our initial setup. So let's do the initial setup of our ClearPass. Okay, I'll extend this and write the username app admin and password is etips123. Hit enter. Okay, now it is waiting for network connection. It will take some time. Okay, here it is. So now we will enter our host name, and the host name is CPPM_lab_pub, and I will hit enter. Now I have to enter the management IP address for our ClearPass, and the management IP which we will use for our ClearPass is 10.10.10.5 and subnet mask is 24. Hit enter. Now we have to enter the gateway, and the gateway is 10.10.10.1. Hit enter. Enter management IP for IPv6. We do not want to configure any IPv6 at this moment, so I will simply hit enter here. Enter data port. I enter data port IPv4 address. I do not want to configure that either. I will hit enter. Now enter data port IPv6 address. I do not want that also. I will hit enter. Now we have to enter the primary DNS, and that would be 10.10.10.10. Hit enter. Now we have to enter the secondary DNS. Let's use 8.8.8.8. Hit enter. Do you want to enable Slack mode? No, I do not want to. Hit enter. This Slack mode is used for IPv6, so I will not use it. And now here's the time when we have to enter our new password. So for my case, I am using the password admin123, and here A is in caps while other letters are in small. Hit enter. Confirm password. Okay. Do you want to configure the date and time? Yes, of course. And how we want to configure it? We want to configure it manually. Write 1, hit enter, and year is 2023, month is Feb, and date is 11th. Okay, hit enter. Oops, sorry, I used the wrong format here. 2023, February 11, hit enter. Now the time is 23.00.00. Hit enter. Do you want to configure time zone? Yes, I do. We are in Asia. Press 5, hit enter. And in Asia, we are in India. Write 1414, hit enter. Is this information correct? Yes. Please enter 1 or 2. Oh, okay. So I have to press 1 here because this information is correct. Now it says, do you want to enable FIPS mode? I do not want this FIPS mode. This FIPS is used by government, and this FIPS stands for Federal Information Processing Standards. So I will say no, write N, hit enter. And we can see here the configuration summary. Whatever we have configured, is it correct? Okay, and if it is correct, we can press Y to continue. If this is not correct and to start over again, we can press N, and this initial setup will start from the beginning, and we can press Q to quit. Okay, but this information is correct, so I will press Y and hit enter. And now it will take one more reload, and this reload will take some time, so I will fast forward that part. Okay, so here it is. We got our login prompt, and we can see here the system model is CLAB-V, and the management IP is 10.10.10.5, which we configured initially, and this is the software version. Now we have to enter our username and password in order to log in into this ClearPass. So I will use username as app-admin, and password was capital A-D-M-I-N 123. Hit enter. And here it is. We are successfully logged into our ClearPass Policy Manager. We can log in this ClearPass using PuTTY as well. Okay, so I will write my IP address 10.10.10.5 and here it is. This is our PuTTY. Okay, and we will enter username app admin, the same username, and password is admin123. So now let's have a quick overview of the CLI here. If I will write help and hit enter, it will show me all the options here, and the question mark keyword doesn't work here. Let's say I write system and do a question mark, it will not give me any output. In order to know what is the syntax after system, I have to simply write system and hit enter, and it will show me all these options here. So let's write show and hit enter. We have all these options after show. So what we can do here is we can write show IP. It will show me the current IP configured on this device. So this is the IPv4 address, this is the gateway subnet mask, and this is the MAC address, this is the DNS information, and all these things. And we can also see version here, show version. It will show me the current version of this ClearPass. We can also use service list here. It will show me all the service list on this ClearPass. I can also write system and hit enter. Here I can see system and let's see the boot image. So I will write system boot image, hit enter, and here it is giving me options. So I will use space -L, hit enter, and it will show me current ClearPass image which is active on this ClearPass device. And in order to use ping utility, what command we can use? We can use network ping, and I can write any IP. So let me ping its own IP. So I will write 10.10.10.5. And let's also try to ping global DNS, that is 8.8.8, which will also confirm our internet reachability. Okay, here it is. I can ping 8.8.8.8, which means that I have internet access also from this ClearPass. I will minimize this PuTTY session. Let me do one thing. Let me open Chrome, and here let me try to access this ClearPass using GUI. Okay, so what I'll do, I will write the IP address of this ClearPass 10.10.10.5 and hit enter. So here it is. We get this certificate message here, so we can click on advance and proceed with unsafe. And here it is. This is the default landing page of our ClearPass. So here we can click on ClearPass Policy Manager to access our ClearPass Policy Manager, or we can also click on ClearPass Guest, ClearPass Onboard, or ClearPass Insight. We saw this picture in one of our previous video lecture if you remember. So in order to access ClearPass Policy Manager, I will click here. And here it is. Now it is asking us to enter the platform activation key to activate this ClearPass appliance, and we will do that in our next video lecture. And there is one more thing which I want to show here is this TIPS in tips. This TIPS or tips stands for Trust and Identity Policy Server. And this is what Aruba wants to call their ClearPass Policy Manager, or Trust and Identity Policy Server. And with that, I hope you learned something new today, and thank you very much for your time.